Hello. You know, what I should have going is, since we've got the perfect background for it, I should choose one of these lo-fi. Welcome to the daily political tarot and astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. We've got a lo-fi background, so here we are. I'm here literally every single day of the year, and it's a Wednesday. Woo! So so just put your political questions in the chat before we come on. We have epic troll slayers who have kept us safe for years, and we have got a fantastic community because you have been so kind to each other and so kind to us.
Yes.
Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello, don't worry, I'll turn the music off. You can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. Miss Sarah will be time stamping as we go. So you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on higher speed or whatever works for you. I'm getting a lot of notifications on my phone that there are some tornado warnings and bad storms coming into Chicago, but right now it's just overcast and no biggie. All right. Okay.
Amazon.
And
yeah, thank you all.
There. Okay. Aaron Carnes says the music slaps. I know. Okay, and you know me. You know I'm a Scorpio. I have a Cancer moon, all emotional, and I've got a Gemini ascendant, so I like to talk. But man, if I got a Sagittarius stellium, because I'm like colors and optimistic, and I've got this side of me that's very that the Saturn on my ascendant is like, I am very uncomfortable with this. Could you please just no? Just no. So if it was up to me, I'd have the music going the whole time and I'd be dancing in my chair and being a complete, just having fun. But the whole time my Saturn's is sitting there going, do you have any idea how bad this looks? Do you have any idea how annoying you're being to people? Anyway, all right. Studio Anne, I'm glad your mom's okay. Okay. Also, it's good to be silly, a little bit silly, and we're gonna try, I guess, a little, just because the astrology right now is so tense.
Yeah,
it is, and everybody's feeling, like, everybody I know is just feeling tense. And the weight's a little bit oppressive. Yeah, Warrior Witch, I sing that song all the time. Usually when the cats are acting like it's just their bowl is empty for 5 seconds. And I'm just like, it's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine.
Yeah, my husband and I usually, when the phone starts going off from Aaron Parnas, we just look at each other and go, and I feel fine.
Even Aaron Parnas is getting to the point of like, I need a vacation.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah. So I just wanted to mention, I guess let's just do it on today's episode. Here we go. Remember, we're in this together. Yeah. You're not alone. We're in this together. We're going to get through this together. Okay. Mm-hmm. But we go through the news here. That's what we do. And it's not super pretty right now. Anyway, on today's episode, Trump refuses to say if we're going to war, but Israel says we are. That's the U.S. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is crazy town. Have you heard that Kristi Noem has gone to the hospital? They say she had an allergic reaction. but she's still there. And you might be thinking, I wonder what that's about. Well, so is everybody else, because by a coinky-dink, Kristi Noem has been hospitalized with an allergic reaction 24 hours after inspecting a biosafety lab with RFK Jr. and Rand Paul.
Because when I think people I want to go inspecting a biosafety lab with, it's RFK Jr. and Rand Paul.
Yeah. Yes, Becca from House of Lenormand's in the chat. Hello, Becca. Do follow House of Lenormand. Is saying she had an allergic reaction to the truth. I know. Yep. But and also Tulsi Gabbard posted a video against nuclear war, and Trump's not happy about it at all, because of course not.
No.
I don't think it is twigged in his pointed little brain, and I mean little, that if things get really bad, nobody's going to buy his garbage. All of his junk, nobody's going to buy it.
Not at all.
So, yeah, I don't think he's, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so at 6 minutes 40 seconds in.
All right.
We're starting with the dumpster fire himself.
Yes. Trump says he hasn't decided if the U.S. will aid Israel against Iran. Israel is already saying to their people that we'll be there. They fully expect us to be there. Iran is saying that it's in our best interest if we aren't. What's going on?
Oh, boy.
Because Trump's all, nobody knows what I'm going to do. Somebody needs to know what you're going to do.
Yeah. We don't want to know anything about you, but that we can only do that if you're not in power. Okay. There were some, let's say, bad faith negotiations. Iran is not some helpless damsel in this situation. They started a lot of this. There are a lot of countries in the world that have nuclear weapons capabilities. But the reason that Iran, people are like, none for you, is because they threaten to use it on Israel. They're constantly threatening to use it on another country. Now, Kim Jong-un in North Korea does something similar about the U.S., but look at the distance between North Korea and the U.S. and our military compared to, so it's like, oh, pipsqueak. Yeah. Anyway, fog of war, also kicking up a lot of dust, because there's a particular, my understanding is there's a particular mountain range, or a particular set of mountains, right, and they've dug way down deep under that mountain for their facilities in Iran, and so they're trying to dig all that up. The U.S. has been warning Israel and the U.S., I believe, have been warning to get out of certain areas. But to be honest, I think, didn't Trump say evacuate Tehran or something? It's like, isn't it?
There's like a million,
millions and millions, of people there. Yeah. This is very shaky. It's making everyone very nervous. The last two cards, though, is this Knight of Pentacles with the World card. That's support. That's not. It's got the World card, which is an ending, but it is also mean literally the world. But that's money. This is refueling vehicles or whatever. But that's that. I'm not getting, for what it's worth, fingers crossed, I am not getting the worst of the worst of the worst cards for this blowing up into something bigger. I hope so. Nobody who does this is 100% accurate, but to me, most importantly, when the astrology energy is as strong as it is right now,
Mm-hmm.
and so far it isn't just, oh, the strongest in our lifetime. This is the strongest on record in the history of mankind.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I realize our recorded history doesn't go back more than, well, in detail, what, 15,000 years?
Mm-hmm.
Something. I know there's some earlier stuff,
Right.
Hand paintings on walls, but for the most part, this hasn't happened. So when there's this much energy, it can blow through, because we're in a sea of energy, and it tends to kind of think of it like a current coming through,
Mm-hmm.
and it's dissipating our collective will energy, kind of dissipates that, and then once the energy passes through, then our collective will energy can reform and become stronger. Rose Blue, thank you so much. Is the Better Business Bureau okay? I don't know anything about it. And I thought there were multiple ones in different cities or states or something.
I think there's a main one. We can look at that tomorrow. We're really full up on questions for today, but we can look at that tomorrow. And then are you pulling again, or are we going to the next question?
1 second. We know he's a bully, bludgeon, but these are generals. Page of Cups. These are the unarmed people who don't want any parts of this. This is not Major Arcana. This is not the Tower. I mean, how many cards have I pulled over the last few days even? And now as well. And I keep pulling cards. I'm not getting Devil, Tower, Wheel of Fortune, I just don't get it no matter how many cards I pull. So
Rose Blue, that's Retelling Savoy is mentioning the Big Beautiful Bill. I'm sorry, I didn't clarify that. That's what they mean by BBB. They don't mean Better Business Bureau.
Oh,
so that's what's in the questions. Sorry for the confusion. All right, and you guys, thank you for correcting me on my SBA v BBB. So
many letters.
Yes. So at 13:15. Mayor wants to know, will North Korea give aid to Iran if the U.S. attacks Iran?
Minor Arcana. Iran is going to run out of missiles. The sheer amount they've been throwing at Israel. And there's a lot of strength here, and Israel has had a lot of other countries helping them, whereas Iran has done its best to isolate itself. Yeah. 10 of Cups, 2 of Swords, 9 of Cups. These aren't catastrophic cards. I know what it is. I'm just not getting catastrophic cards.
Okay.
And it can be hard to say, well, that can't be right. Just because like I said, the astrology is impressive right now. Matter of fact, isn't the moon conjunct Pluto at the moment? So it's God of the underworld. Our emotions are, let me double check. Our emotions are really, really intense. Current planets. Hang on.
While you're pulling that up, Amanda, I think there's a No Kings 2.0 scheduled for the 4th of July. That's what people have been saying. So if you missed the first go around, No Kings 2, Electric Boogaloo. So.
We like that. No, I was incorrect, but there is. I want you to. Okay, you know how I'll say it. I'll say it again. You don't. Okay, when you look at a modern astrology chart, the computers create, the standardization is that the red tends to be more tension, conflict, and the blue tends to be softer energy. And these are between the planets. So even if you don't know astrology, you can look at a modern chart and get some sense, just some sense of, is this, is there like a ton of blue, which should be more relaxing? If there's like just nothing but all kinds of red, could be tension. It'll get you up and moving at least, but it's, Marjorie Orr described it as the grit that forms the pearl. So it's like, and most often you'll have like a mix of red or blue. Mm-hmm. This is the astrology right now.
Oh.
So you don't have to know a lot of astrology to look at that and go, tension. The sun is up here. Our sense of self, our collective sense of self, is very, very close to Jupiter. So it expands our sense of self, which would be good. Mm. Except our sense of self and Jupiter are squaring the moon, Saturn, and Neptune. So our emotions. And if you yourself have in your chart your sun square your moon, it means your head and your heart don't always gel on what you're trying to do. And over decades, you learn to just deal with it, and find the way to make the best of it, which can be done because, like I said, it gets you up and moving. It doesn't allow you to be complacent. But yeah, this is not great. Now, there is quite a bit of blue here, though, as well, because you have outer planets, outer planets, outer planet, outer planet, and Mars, and Peggy, all coming into new signs. So, yeah. But anyway, if you're wondering why there's kind of this is the energy that we're all swimming through right now. That's all.
Yeah, could do. Yeah, my astrology knowledge is limited, but I've picked up on that. You'll pull up something, I'll go, ooh, red, a lot of red. Yakadoo, no red.
Well, thanks. So if you ever anybody who's tried to pick a date to come out with a book or a course or start a new business, or, try to find a really great day to choose to do that, you find out quickly there are almost no all good charts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like buying a house, I hear, since I've never bought one. You're going to have to make compromises somewhere.
Oh, yeah. All right. At 1850, y'all.
Thank you, Warrior Witch.
Kristi Noem was rushed to the hospital for a reported allergic reaction. Some are wondering if it could be something different, like a nervous breakdown, perchance. Funny thing is, the day before, she, RFK, and Rand Paul, the unholy trinity, had visited a biosafety lab that was, quote, that had been recently temporarily shut down for safety reasons.
Oh, gosh.
There's no evidence at the moment that the two are related. So could this be more serious, or did she brush up against someone with empathy and break out in hives? Or maybe the brainworm jumped ship. I don't know.
Or even her extensions just rebelled and just started wrapping themselves around her.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Make it stop.
What in the 28 days later are they doing?
Again, not getting heinous cards.
Well, that's good.
I'm getting that she's tired. It's exhausting to be that cruel and petty and vicious.
Bless.
It takes a lot of energy.
Hmm.
I mean, the good news is we don't have to listen to her right now. So there's that. I do get that. Okay, the first set of cards I got were not. This was just her being a part of this administration and the dumb stuff they do. And there is some disappointment there, and that's her. And it's like, But so I pulled some clarifying cards, and what I got was the fish rots from the head. So these people's ideas about what safety is when it comes to these things, not great.
Yeah.
Page of Pentacles is not necessarily having everything they're supposed to be having. There are so many things there. And this is a Fool. So I have to wonder if, I'm not saying that, she's got bubonic plague,
Cooties, yes.
Yeah, cooties.
She walked in there and did not circle, dot, now I've got my cootie shot. She did not take her cootie shot where she walked in there. So, and she walked in there with King Cootie, Mr. RFK Jr. himself. So,
yeah. Yeah. They cut corners. They take risks they should not have.
What helps me is if you see the pictures from when they were there, like she's been, being Ice Barbie for months and walking out all tough and suited up and this, that, and the other. And, we're wearing a vest over here. We're doing She walked into that place in a little bitty pastel blue dress like it was church on Sunday morning. Little sleeveless short. And I'm like, you gonna wear kitten heels to a bio lab? No, ma'am. No. Joyce, I saw somebody talking about that earlier, but I cannot find confirmation of Stephen Miller taking over the DHS. I looked and looked. If somebody has an actual link, let me know.
Yep. So basically you went into a biolab that was it currently closed down, or it had been closed down?
It had been recently closed down due to safety reasons.
And you're going to walk in there not only with short sleeveless dress and showing your legs, so as much skin as you could possibly expose in a biolab. Yeah, what I'm getting is all kinds of things could have.
Cooties.
So maybe she is having an allergic reaction, or she's having the same kind of reaction we get after we get a vaccine.
Maybe.
Temperance and the King of Cups. Whoopsies. Medical. So I'm not getting that, we're about to get the hearse arriving at the hospital. But what I'm getting is, I don't think this is entirely a quinky-dink.
Well.
And I wouldn't say she has no one to blame but herself, but she did not help her situation.
I think that's going to be the tagline of this administration. They did not help their situation.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. At 24:20, y'all. I went and watch this. So Tulsi Gabbard on her personal Twitter page. Tulsi Gabbard posted a quote unquote cryptic video about impending nuclear war, what that would look like. And Trump is not pleased. It starts off with she took a trip to Hiroshima and went to the museums there and learned a bunch of stuff and how it's it's going to change her forever. But then she showed what that would look like now with the technology change that we have now, and how that would be infinitely more destructive. And that we need to be cautious of war hawks. And I was like, oh dear. So, but Trumpelfinskin is not happy. And so basically, will Tulsi going rogue get her removed? Because he point blank told somebody had asked him, well, Tulsi says, and he's like, I don't care what she says. I was like, oh. Okay.
I thought there were rumors that the dumpster fire and Tulsi had a thing.
I don't
know. Okay, here's the thing. Her talking about how much worse the nuclear stuff is, what have you, she's not wrong. I mean, it is. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. This isn't what's going to happen, but this is what I'm getting. Also, you will notice these excuse me, these are not the cards I've been getting when I read on Israel, Iran. You'll notice this is the first time these cards have shown up today.
Right.
But no, yes, there are scary kabooms, potential kabooms in the world. Is she going to, I mean, she may have spoken out of turn, and of course, toddler Trump would of course have his wobbly, but she can get back in his good graces. He doesn't have that many flunkies left, to be honest.
That part.
There isn't, it isn't like, oh, there's this whole group over here who are just chomping at the bit to be in the administration. No.
There is not enough Rolaids for that. Tums, whatever. Like, who would? No.
I'm going to go turn on my kettle. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Sorry.
You're good.
I would also like to put the astrology where I was talking about it in the description box, but I'm not quite sure how to do that. Just a thought. Anyway, I'll be right back.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, no, guys, when I was looking up the stuff on Stephen Miller earlier, and I was trying to see if Stephen Miller, you know, because somebody has been saying, I've heard little whispers here and there about the Stephen Miller taking over for Noem. I can't find a big source. So I did see the clickbaitiest headline ever, though, over on Daily Beast, where they were like, Trump has a nasty secret nickname for Stephen Miller. And I clicked it and I was like, okay, let's do this. I need a giggle. He calls him Weird Stephen. That's the nasty nickname. I was like, y'all, for real? That is the clickbaitiest thing ever. But then I was like, okay, well, you got to differentiate. So you've got Weird Stephen, and then you've got like Stanky Stephen, which is Bannon. So, and then what other Stevens do we have? Do we have other Stevens? Can we make a list? So Weird Stephen, Stanky Stephen. I don't know who else we have. Stephen. Well, Amy, Tim Walz came up with just calling everybody weird over there, which he's not wrong. Oh, I hear your weather.
No. I just turned that on. I didn't realize you were going to talk about Stephen Miller, so we have to have this on in the background when we're talking about Stephen Miller.
Oh.
Da-da-da, da-da-da-da.
Oh, no, Mr. Dill, I don't want to think about Steven Seagal. No, thank you. Oh, goodness. Yes, I agree, Dorinda. We have better nicknames. Yes. Yeah, we're talking about Nazi Ferratu. Weird Steve. Whatever. Oh, goodness. Hello, dears. Bet his laugh is a hiss, right? Oh, Deb, that is like, if I didn't love Paul Rubens, I would agree with you on that. Is Bannon jealous that Miller stole the Stanky Steve title from him? No, Bannon is Stanky Steve. To me anyway. He's Stanky Steve in my heart. But Weird Steven is what Trump calls
our dyspeptic gut. He's Stanky Steve in our dyspeptic gut.
Thank you, Valerie. It is Amazon. So, Amy says, I just wonder who has the kids. She took off with Leon. Are we talking about Stephen Miller? I mean, I'm assuming at this point, like, Elon gets some sort of discount at a daycare somewhere. I mean, massive group discount. So, you'll find somebody, right? Burn, yes, that boy ain't right. You are absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought I muted myself.
No, you're good. Rob D. Miller says, I never drink wine. No, he just bathes in the blood of his enemies. So, whichever. There's got to be a Stephen Miller Bathroy link in the genetics somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a look at Stephen Miller's hang on. I had a look at his astrology this morning, actually. And he has got Pluto conjunct his midheaven, which means, in one sense, people who have that, if they do it correctly, it means that they really have their pulse on kind of the zeitgeist. And that will help their career. However, I want to say his moon is conjunct Uranus. Here's one I made earlier. 1 second. There we go. Stephen Miller. Can you see that? The chart?
Oh, yeah. Lots of something.
Yeah. His Pluto is right up against his midheaven. So his career, his status, and he's got that Lord of the Underworld thing conjunct there in its own sign of Scorpio. So that intense, that power hungry stuff. But right over here, he's basically taken the bad side of every sign, every planet. And somebody else could have this exact chart and be a lovely human being. But he has taken the lowest vibration possible. So he's this sun in Virgo. And when Virgo goes bad, it is the most persnickety, petty, narrow sign. And I say that, trust me, I say that as a Scorpio. That definitely has its ups and downs. But he's got his sun in Virgo over here, and he has got Uranus, the rebel, thinking outside the box, the revolutionary, the weird, conjunct his moon, which is his emotional nature. And his emotional nature is in Sagittarius in the first place, which can be a little expansive and can wear a little thin So he's got all of this weirdness with his emotions, and he's got this intensity in how he rises in the world, and he's got the low end of Virgo over here, and that's on a So anyway, it's not pretty. Oh, his midheaven's his ascendant's in Capricorn, which Capricorn is the sign of the Lord of the Manor, the hierarchy, the aristocracy, the I am up here and you are down there.
Oh, Lewis says I get the year wrong. It's 1685 AD.
What happened in 16?
He's a vampire, is what he's saying.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, it's 1685. You're
Yes.
right. You're right. The
Yes.
number's wrong. Sorry. Okay. And the funny thing is, his Venus, what and how he loves, is in Cancer. Home, ruled by mom, just embrace family.
Wouldn't Norman Bates's be too?
That's a good point. I hadn't thought of that.
I mean,
That is a very good point. Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, you've got a good point. And every action and way he speaks is going to be the low end of Leo, which is authoritarianism. So, all right. But enough of this jocularity. I thought somebody might be interested. Goral says, as a Virgo, I've never ever heard that we can be petty, nitpicking, critical. Really?
Yeah, it was. There's jokey emojis after that. Yes.
Okay.
So yes. All right. So at 36:15, y'all, yet another 2,000 National Guard members have been activated by Hegseth and the Trump admin to head to Los Angeles. Is this going to end soon? What? I don't. Mark says Miller was born in a cave. So was Ebola. I don't know which one I would rather sit with for longer. So, if you read the book The Hot Zone, please don't do it when you're in a highly emotional state. I read that one on bed rest with pregnant with my oldest, and I just spent just weeks curled up crying. I don't want to get the Ebola virus. Yeah. So yeah, but no, they've pretty much narrowed the origin to a cave-ish area, or at least they had at the time the book came out. So,
Poor Sarah.
Y'all are so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, they're assuming that everybody who protested during the No Kings protest has just gone home. Is just going to forget it all happened.
Yeah.
No. People are still out there and still against what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he thinks this makes him look big and important to trod over those who are in the weakest positions. Well, his dynasty continues. But I do have a world card here in the Four of Wands. And considering what's going on, I would imagine this world card has more to do with what's going on in the world, plus the fact that he is exhausted and would probably retreat back to try to get some more rest. But boy, do they have him. Have you seen the amount of makeup that was on his hand?
Oh yeah.
Around the time of the parade?
Mm-hmm.
They are giving that man intravenous fluids and B vitamins and whatever to pep him up.
Evil is exhausting,
isn't it? Well, you wouldn't know. That's true.
No, but I mean, by observation, yeah, pettiness is exhausting too. So that's where I'm at. So whatever.
You're awesome. I honestly, this world card, his attention goes elsewhere. I'm being drawn to the fact that she's looking like suddenly she's like, oh. So we know that there is a definite lack of bandwidth when it comes to President Dimwit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they say that the reason why they have found some correlation between extreme intelligence and some mental issues is just because everything's overclocked. You've overclocked the system, and or you're naturally overclocking the system, and so you're constantly taking in huge amounts of information and processing it, and putting stuff back out and all of this, and things can go a little haywire. He doesn't have that problem. His problem is the bulb is dim, and it gets dimmer every day. And you might be thinking, oh, you're just being horrible toward him. Well, first of all, he deserves it. But second of all, adjudicated R word. Yeah. 30 for felony convictions. Need I go on? But he's aging, and aging badly. At this point, I mean, it's pretty much the preservatives in all of the McDonald's he's eating that's kind of holding him upright. I mean, think about it. You can take those, like a cheeseburger and fries and what have you, and you can put it in a glass box and like leave it there for decades.
Oh yeah, it still looks relatively
It's everything's slowing down with age, with how he's treated his body, and so there's only so much bandwidth. Wild Rose Chair Consulting, maybe he's pickled by evil. There's that too. Do follow Sienna over at Wild Rose Tarot Consulting. You are a gem. You are an absolute gem, and we adore you. The sweetest human beings I've ever met in my life is Sienna Rose. That's just a fact. So, all right. I don't know if there's anything else to say.
Yeah.
Although I last thing I said yesterday because I was going to roll over some questions, that I definitely was going to roll over this one just for Marmalade Malignancy reportedly gave Hegseth an earful.
I was kind of proud of that one.
Yeah, that was Marmalade Malignancy. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, Marmalade Malignancy gave Hegseth an earful over the parade. Trump was livid that his troops appeared to be having a good time rather than displaying the menacing military face that he had wanted. Could embarrassing Trump be what gets Hog's Breath closer to being out the door?
How would Trump know he was asleep for half of it?
Well, this is true. But he hears, this man will overlook incompetence in general because it's whatever. But if you embarrass him, his narcissism cannot take that.
Wild Rose says Marmalade Malignancy is the name of my new metal band.
Fabulous.
I forgot to put sweetener in there.
I was going to say that's a face of regret. I don't know what we were regretting, but there was some regret there. Oh, goodness.
I've done my penance for today. Whew. I made it very strong. No sweetener.
All right.
Take care, Sienna. Take care. I'll be sending you an email soon, just so you know. Because we've talked about having her on the channel. That would be
very
awesome.
Cool.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Oh boy.
So,
Keg's breath.
Yes. Yeah.
Again, he doesn't. Who's going to replace these people? There is not a huge backbench of, or a huge bench of people just like, all right, President Dumpster Fire,
let's do it. Yes.
Send me in, coach.
I think you'd find in that case, you might have more people willing, not because they want to work for Trump, but because they want to protect the institution. Like they want to protect the soldiers as much as possible. I think a lot of what Mattis did fell into that. Like Mattis didn't take it because he wanted to work for Trump. He wanted to make sure that his folks were okay as long as he could. Right. Yeah. So I think you might this particular position, you might have folks that would, do that.
I literally have it ending with him just looking at everything he's done. There's the Marmalade Malignancy himself,
mm-hmm.
Who wanted this big display of strength, when the reality is what the army was actually doing was giving a history lesson. That's what that parade was.
Yes.
That's what they had planned. They had planned like 250 things across the country to celebrate the Army's history and doing teaching all this stuff and all of this. And it was like, and Trump canceled all of that. It's like, no, you're going to have the parade. And they're like, okay. So in this year, this happened. And in this year, this happened. And this year, this happened. So Trump was hoping to get Kim Jong-un's,
stormtrooper march.
Right. And what he got was the Smithsonian voiceover recording.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, this is what he wanted. But there's the institution. Nostalgia and fruits of labor.
Mm-hmm.
Look, after everything Keg's breath has done and continues to do, he's still there.
Oh, yeah.
Dumpster Fire may be mad, but he's not in any hurry.
Yes, Sharon Rice, malicious compliance. And yes, Grace Gilbert, fortunate son. I died. For those of you who are not familiar, Creedence Clearwater Revival, CCR, has a song called Fortunate Son that John Fogerty wrote about when he was drafted to Vietnam. And he was mighty upset about that because he had to go, and people who did not have the money, who did not have a rich daddy to sign a doctor's note for them, had to go when others didn't. And so Captain Bone Spurs, played Fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, cat toy. And in this year, squeak, 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 squeak.
Oh, yeah. All right. Actually, I know he didn't pick that. It was probably, I'm wondering if that was a malicious compliance too, along with, yeah. All right. So
thank you.
4840, Heather has a question. The Fifth Circuit Court ruled on the book banning case, Little v. Llano County, allowing libraries in Texas, Mississippi, and Louisiana to remove books for any reason. Of course they did. Will SCOTUS take up the appeal and uphold previous rulings protecting the rights of students to read and access books freely? Because why would we want the worst educated states to maybe get educated? Why would we want that?
Did they allow it under states' rights?
I am not sure. I think so.
Because if states that are already in with the MAGA stuff, they're very poor. there's, again, the fish is rotted from the head. It has rotted from the head. There's dumpy. And then they're on the defensive. And the way things have been used to be, nostalgia. This feels like a state thing.
Yeah.
Which is just sad. One of my parents, I am so grateful to my parents. And one of the many things, but one of the key, like, top 10 things I am grateful for is that my parents always made at least some, it wasn't any time I wanted, but they made at least some money available for me to buy books. I spent a lot of time growing up in libraries and in bookstores.
I loved hanging out at my local library when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was wild. Even when I lived in, a little town in West Virginia, someone somewhere along the way, 12-year-old me is looking around the library, and somebody had donated the entire works of Jean Cocteau to the library. And if you're thinking Cousteau, no, it's not the ocean guy.
It's not the fishy guy. No,
it wasn't the fishy guy. It was the artist, the French artist, and his poetry and the diary of his when he was recovering from opium addiction, and just all kinds of. He did after the war. He did a movie of Cinderella, something, Sleeping Beauty. I don't know, whatever it was, but he made some kind of version of it that was particularly beautiful. And one of the hardest things about doing the entire thing was it was right after the war, and they had a terrible time finding white sheets to hang.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, so this 12-year-old me runs across this. And that was just one of the things. And it really just opened me up to so much knowledge.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Beauty and the Beast. Thank you, Lynette. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. I'm looking at the time, and there are two more things that I definitely want to look at.
Okay, let's do it.
So, I'm so glad I'm here for this. At 53 even, Mike Lindell claimed victory. We won.
Mr. Pillow.
We won. Mike Lindell claimed victory after a jury ordered him to pay $2.3 million in damages to former voting machine executive Eric Coomer for defamation. We're the first ones that went all the way to the jury trial, he said of the 2020 election fraud case, and we won. It was unanimous all the way. Every single thing when they brought up MyPillow, 100% victory. Now the media is coming out and saying, well, you owe this, Mike Lindell, you owe this. Well, that's what appeals are for.
He won across the board, but has to appeal.
Yeah. Does he understand that unanimous votes for guilty aren't a win? Yes, it was unanimous. It was unanimous that you suck, sir. It was unanimous that you need to go back to Hardee's and get a Coke and a smile and hush. Okay? And if you know where that reference comes, we can be friends.
Okay, here's the thing. They had, for the reading, they had all the evidence, what they needed. Then we got judgment.
Yeah, we did.
We got the tower. And you can't lose much more than that. You've lost. You've lost. God himself sent lightning to hit your tower.
Booyah, booyah. Yes.
And then we have partnership, but it's not his. Matter of fact, it could be health related stuff, or just this isn't you pay them the money. He is not well. There are any number of these people who what is left of their cheese cannot hold a cracker.
I love that one. I love that one. There we go. There we go. Now, wrapping up for today at 55:45. This is cool. We're gonna end. We had a laugh, and we're gonna end on some positivity. So my new hero, Faith O'Reilly, is an 82-year-old grandmother from Colorado, and the oldest registered power lifter in the 2025 National Senior Games.
Yes.
Yes. As science progresses, will we see more things like this? Faith took up powerlifting in law school, which she's 82. So when she went to law school back in the day, I mean, it was, yeah. So, bless her. And the previous record holder, for age for powerlifting was 104, and she would like to beat that person. So,
wow. Amy, by the way, yes, go right ahead. And thank you, Guadalupe. Congratulations on your 7th anniversary of your fabulous channel. Oh, thank you. Thank you. But this Faith O'Reilly, 82-year-old power lifter, this is awesome.
yes. I want to be Miss O'Reilly when I grow up.
There is so much coming. It is hard for me to express the medical advances that are coming, the technological advances that are coming. It's massive. It's a tidal wave. She has strength and balance. This is absolutely the card of balance.
Very cool.
Thank you, Lois. Happy anniversary to the best channel. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Lois. That's very sweet. Thank you. Wow. And thank you. There's a lot that you have to not do. And you have to take good care of yourself. But there's so much coming. So many new possibilities coming. Page of Wands, High Priestess. Some of it we're not even going to be sure why it works. But with the rise of AI going back through just AI just going back through the huge lists of studies that have been done.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of the problems with all of the medical studies that get published. If you go to PubMD, PubMD, it goes on forever.
Oh yeah.
And you start getting strong enough AIs to go through that, you are going to unearth just there. You're going to unearth things that will help a lot of people. And that's not even the new stuff in the way that the pharmaceutical companies are starting to use AI, et cetera, et cetera. There's so much coming. I hope enough of it comes soon. So, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. And future generations will reap the benefits of that. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I've always believed very strongly, and as a mother, I'm sure you do too, that our job is to kind of take the children of this next generation, whoever they are, and throw them as far forward as you can throw them. And it's like our great grandparents should have thrown their children as far forward, and then hopefully our parents threw us as far forward to do better.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of that is problematic and doesn't happen like it should all the time. But, yeah. Okay. As long as the future generation is bigger, brighter, happier, as long as future generations, things improve,
right?
Like, I'm okay. I'm okay if it misses me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't quite understand that mentality of, well, why should I had to pay for my student loans? Because you're supposed to want better for your children. You're supposed to want them to not have to struggle like you've had to struggle. Like,
and you paid $400 for a year of university.
That part, yes. But so here's to 82-year-old powerlifting grandmas, and yeah.
Yep. So that will do it. But thank you so much for coming on, Miss Sarah.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I was very discombobulated today, and I really appreciate all your good help and your humor. And but anyway, okay, so right, so that will do it for us for today. But I'll be back tomorrow. I'm here literally every single day of the year. And please don't forget, you are not alone. We are in this together. There are good days ahead.
Absolutely.
So hang in there. All right. Don't forget to eat tacos, yo, says Warrior Witch. Yo. Bruh.
Yo.
Sarah was saying that a lot this morning. It was very cute. In jest, but she was saying a lot. Yes. It was very cute.
Bruh. Yes.
Bruh. All right. Take care. See you later.
Thank you, Jean.